In the heart of West Africa, where the Benue River flowed like a giant snake through valleys and plains, two nations, Cameroon and Nigeria, stood bound by geography and water. At the center of their relationship was the Lagdo Dam, a structure built by Cameroon in the 1980s to generate electricity and support irrigation. But what was meant to bring prosperity had, over the years, become a source of disaster. Decades before, the governments of Cameroon and Nigeria had reached an agreement. Since the dam had been constructed on the Benue River, a waterway that stretched into Nigeria, both nations had to cooperate in managing its floodwaters. The deal was simple. When Cameroon needed to release excess water from Lagdo Dam, it would notify Nigeria in advance. This would give Nigerian authorities time to open their own reservoirs, clear flood-prone areas, and protect lives and properties. To complement the agreement, Nigeria had planned to build its own dam, the Dasin Hausa Dam, in Adamawa State, which would act as a buffer, capturing excess water released from Lagdo. However, like many promises in Nigerian history, the dam remained an unfulfilled dream, buried under bureaucracy and corruption. It was the rainy season of 2022, and the people living along the banks of the Benue River in Nigeria were going about their daily lives. Farmers tilled their fields, fishermen cast their nets, and children played in the shallow waters. The warning from Cameroon came as it always did, a simple notification that water would be released from Lagdo Dam. But in the Nigerian capital, Abuja, the warning was met with negligence. The authorities, weighed down by inefficiency and corruption, had no concrete plan to manage the flood. Local governments were left clueless, and residents of flood-prone areas were not warned. As the days passed, the skies grew darker, heavy with monsoon rains. And then, the flood came. On an early morning in September, the Benue River swelled beyond its banks. Water rushed through villages, swallowing homes, farmlands and roads. Cities like Makurdi, Lokoja and Onitsha were drowned in chaos. People clung to rooftops, crying for help. Crops were destroyed, leaving farmers in ruin. Bodies floated on the water, lives washed away by government neglect. Yet the disaster had been preventable. The agreement between Cameroon and Nigeria was only as good as the action taken to uphold it. While Cameroon had done its part by notifying Nigeria, the Nigerian government had no emergency plan in place. The Dasin Hausa Dam, which should have held back the floodwaters, was still nothing but an abandoned proposal on paper. In the weeks that followed, anger boiled among the people. Activists took to the streets, demanding accountability. The government, as always, gave excuses. Officials blamed past administrations, climate change, and even Cameroon itself. But the truth was evident. The disaster was a result of years of neglect. Farmers lamented the loss of their harvest, traders watched their businesses sink underwater, and families mourned loved ones who had been swept away. The flood not only brought water, but also disease, as cholera and malaria spread in the overcrowded refugee camps. And still, there were no solutions, only temporary relief efforts and political speeches. As time passed, the waters receded, leaving behind nothing but destruction and broken promises. The Nigerian government vowed to revisit the Dasin Hausa Dam project, yet no construction began. Cameroon continued operating the Lagdo Dam, and each year, the flood warnings came again. The people of Nigeria, resilient as ever, rebuilt their homes with their own hands. But they knew that history would repeat itself. Without action, without accountability, the river would rise again, and the cycle of destruction would continue. And so, the Benue River waited, silent but watchful, knowing that one day it would remind Nigeria of the cost of neglect once more.